It would be amazing if life never challenged you, if you could go from day to day improvising and always making the right decisions. But unfortunately, that's not how life works. In the end, we all make mistakes or take actions we regret later on. Stoicism, when looked at in theory, is a philosophy, but in practice it's a guide for living. The Stoics believed that life was complex and full of challenges that would test our character, so they came up with guidelines to keep us on the right track. In this video, I'll talk about 11 rules that I adopted from the Stoics to help myself become the best version of who I can be. These 11 rules were formulated over 2,000 years ago by Stoic philosophers and have been beneficial to countless individuals throughout history. So I encourage you to stick around until the end to discover all of these rules and how you can apply them in your own life. Before we dive in, please hit like on the video. It'll help me spread this philosophy to a wider audience. And if you're not subscribed yet, I recommend doing so and turning on notifications so you won't miss any of my future videos. Rule 1. Own your mornings. One of the most insightful moments from Marcus Aurelius's Meditations is when he has a conversation with himself at the start of Book 5. He knows he must get out of bed, but he feels the strong temptation to stay cozy under the covers. It's an understandable impulse, but also remarkable. Marcus Aurelius wasn't obligated to get up. Unlike many emperors before him, who delegated responsibilities to enjoy life in luxury, Marcus made a conscious decision not to fall into this temptation. He prioritized getting up early to tackle his duties. He understood that conquering the morning was key to conquering the day, and in turn, to winning at life. He might not have known the saying, "The early bird catches the worm," but he certainly understood the value of starting the day right. A productive morning sets the tone for the whole day. Personally, I follow 3 steps to ensure my mornings are productive. 1. Journal. As soon as I wake up, I jot down the tasks I need to complete for the day and reflect on the previous day, writing down what went well and what could have been improved. This helps me stay mindful of my progress and areas where I need to grow. Journaling not only builds a morning habit, but it also provides clarity and direction for the day. 2. Exercise. Exercise doesn't need to be intense, but I make sure to move my body in some way. Whether it's going for a walk, hitting the gym, or taking a run, physical activity wakes me up and clears my mind. 3. Focus on work. After journaling and exercising, I feel mentally prepared to dive into my tasks for the day, fully focused and ready to tackle them head-on. Rule 2. Focus on what you can control. The Stoics placed great emphasis on concentrating on what is within our control and letting go of what isn't. Once you internalize this, you'll become far more pragmatic and waste less energy worrying about things outside of your reach. Realizing this will prevent unnecessary frustration and suffering and help you focus on what truly matters to achieve your goals. Take sports as an example. You control how you perform, but you don't control the outcome, whether you win, whether your opponent is fair, or whether the crowd cheers you on. When you shift your attention to your own game rather than the factors you can't influence, you'll likely see improved performance. Apply the same mindset to all areas of life. Rule 3. Don't worry about imaginary problems. In life, uncertain situations often lead to negative thoughts that cause us unnecessary distress. This is something that happens to all of us from time to time. We tend to imagine worst-case scenarios or worry about what might happen in the future, which can cause unnecessary suffering. But the Stoics remind us that these fears and worries are often just projections of our own minds, not actual problems we have to face. By learning to avoid these imaginary troubles, we can better focus on the present and deal with what truly matters, rather than stressing about things that may never happen. Rule 4. Live according to nature. The Stoics believed in the importance of aligning ourselves with nature's laws. This doesn't mean simply following natural instincts, but rather understanding and accepting the flow of life. Everything in nature has its place and purpose, and so do we. By living in accordance with nature, we learn to accept both good and bad times with equanimity. Rather than fighting against the natural course of events, we can accept them as part of the bigger picture and respond in a way that helps us grow. Rule 5. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful tool for cultivating a positive mindset. The Stoics regularly reminded themselves to be grateful for what they had, even when times were tough. By practicing gratitude, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we already possess. This shift in perspective allows us to appreciate life more deeply, improving our mental and emotional resilience. Rule 6. Reflect. Daily reflection is a key part of Stoic practice. At the end of each day, Marcus Aurelius, for example, would reflect on his actions and thoughts. He would ask himself whether he had lived according to his values, whether he had acted with virtue, and whether he had contributed positively to the world around him. Daily reflection allows us to become more self-aware and provides an opportunity to improve by learning from our mistakes. Rule 7. Accept change. Nothing in life is permanent. Change is the only constant. The Stoics understood that it's not the events themselves that cause us pain, but our resistance to change. By accepting change, whether it's the loss of a loved one, a job, or a personal setback, we can learn to respond in a way that promotes growth, rather than sinking into frustration or despair. Rule 8. Cultivate resilience. Life will always present obstacles, but it's how we respond to them that truly matters. Resilience is about bouncing back after a setback, not allowing ourselves to be defeated by difficulties. The Stoics emphasized the importance of cultivating mental toughness, which is developed through facing adversity with a calm and rational mind. By doing so, we become stronger and better equipped to handle the inevitable challenges of life. Rule 9. Be present. Many of us spend so much time thinking about the past or worrying about the future that we forget to live in the present moment. The Stoics taught that the present is all we truly have. By focusing on the here and now, we are able to fully engage with life and appreciate the opportunities that each moment brings. When we live in the present, we free ourselves from unnecessary worries and find more peace in our daily experiences. Rule 10. Simplify your life. The Stoics believed in the importance of living simply and avoiding excess. By stripping away unnecessary desires and distractions, we can focus more on what really matters. Simplifying our lives makes it easier to live in accordance with our values and frees up mental energy for more meaningful pursuits. The Stoics also practiced moderation in all things, emphasizing the importance of balance rather than indulgence. Rule 11. Be virtuous above all. For the Stoics, virtue was the highest good. They believed that living a virtuous life, acting with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, was the key to true happiness. All other external circumstances were seen as secondary. By prioritizing virtue in all that we do, we can ensure that our actions are aligned with our values and that we are contributing positively to the world.